It will not be an easy task. Our shared past has left us with many bitter legacies. Thousands of people in Northern Ireland and in other parts have been the victims of all those decades of violence. Others have suffered in many other ways, and we remember them too. But if the focus on these islands remains in the past will become the future. And that is something no one desires.
Belfast. A city once riddled with violence, not enjoying the benefits of peace. The troubles of Northern Ireland spanned over 3 decades, and the legacy continues to live on. The streets of the city centre were once devoid of activity, but now thrives, bristling with life. This is all thanks to the peace established through the Good Friday Agreement.
I was at home when I kind of, like everybody else, where it was on the few days up to it, it was going to happen, and it wasn't going to happen, and then the announcement was on the news. I think it was Stephen Grimston who I heard first saying on BBC News.
I'm pleased to announce that the two governments and the political parties of Northern Ireland have reached agreement. The agreement proposes changes in the Irish Constitution and in British constitutional law to enshrine the principle that it is the people of Northern Ireland who will decide democratically their own future.
When I look back, when I joined the police service in 1976, there were 300 people murdered that year, including the British ambassador to Dublin, Christopher Ewart Biggs. If you can imagine today, if somebody was talking to you today about 300 people being murdered, never mind all of the people who were injured in the middle of that as well, you just probably wouldn't countenance that could happen. It was clearly a challenging time and a difficult time. We were walking behind too many coffins from people from the community and from both in the police and outside the police. When we came to the signing of the Good Friday Agreement and the ceasefires, I think all of us breathed a deep sigh of relief around all of that. I don't think that any of us would have believed that 25 years on we're still talking about some of this stuff. I think we thought we would have moved quicker than that, but maybe that's part of the learning, that coming out of a 30-year conflict, the healing of that conflict takes considerably longer than you might imagine.
21 years on from the Good Friday Agreement, we caught up with the generation born after the Troubles. Free from the prospect of violence, their sights are set not on the troubled past of the country, but on an optimistic future.
I'm Abby Wraith. I am a final year student in Stranmillis doing primary education, so I obviously want to be a teacher. I quite like Northern Ireland. I think because we live so close to Belfast, I enjoy Belfast nightlife and going to uni and stuff there. Obviously it has its faults, and there's some stuff that maybe isn't quite nice about Northern Ireland, but I think as a whole, it's a positive picture.
Do you know a lot about the Troubles, and what's your perspective on it?
I would say I know a little bit, obviously not having lived through it, but I'm quite interested in it, and I study a module that kind of touches on the Troubles and education through the Troubles and stuff like that. I feel like it's an important part of our history that we still need to learn about. It's maybe not something that we want to repeat, but we need to kind of keep learning from it and evolving. And obviously things do spring up now and then from history, and incidents still do happen. So it's important to kind of reflect upon it and help us move forward.
because of everything everyone went through. It's, like I said, it's still happening now. There's still people going through PTSD, depression, drugs, alcohol. Catholics and Protestants nowadays, like younger generation, we're not involved in it. So just doesn't matter where you're from or what religious background you have, because most of the times anyway, people don't care about their religion. It's just all sectarianism.
People always say like the school is the heart of the community, but you know, in a lot of places it is, and it's really important. You know, you have a lot of schools doing like connected learning, so they're paired with a different school that, you know, has, you know, Catholic and Protestant schools coming together, or state schools and Catholic schools coming together, and they're learning about each other and they're making friends, whereas they might have not have had that, you know, depending on the area that they live in.
Like, we have really good lives. We're able to go to education, we're able to go to uni. We have so much more opportunities that people didn't have in the Troubles. Like, we don't have to worry about bombings going off every day. So the fact that there's so much segregation going on still and sectarianism, it's really due to the parents and how they're being raised. I just think that's the only way it's down to. And I think the way that I was asked earlier, do you think that it should be, do you think that people should be educated and how they should be educated in the Troubles? I think definitely they really should be, because it's part of our history. It's why everything has happened now. It's part of how our government has formed. It's really, really important to be educated on it.
I mean, I'm hugely hopeful for the next 21 years. I think when we look back at this in 100 years' time in history, this will seem like a short period of time, as history tends to do. But it will require work to get us to the next phase in it. I don't get any sense we're slipping back despite some of the challenges that are going to come ahead. I don't think that's going to happen. There are some people who want to drag us back to it, but I think society, and particularly young people in particular, the vast majority of young people are not going to let that happen.
If someone's Catholic or Protestant doesn't really bother me, as I think most people these days would definitely identify with not being able to, or not having to worry about religious views and stuff like that.
Northern Ireland is still a troubled country, but for the Good Friday kids, the days ahead are bright. It's a place to grow, learn, and live without fear of the conflicts that for so long defined us. It's home.
I remember trips through Ireland, one caravan, 2 dogs, the sky.
I think we should be really proud. Really, really proud of how far we've come. Like, all the businesses that are wanting to open up in Belfast and all the businesses that we actually currently have in Belfast and Northern Ireland. It's really good. People want to open up and invest here, so we've definitely came very far.
The punched out teeth of Irish history. Mistakes were made, let's leave it there. But there's one thing we can all agree on. There's beauty north, south, east and west. There's beauty north, south, east and west. I think of home, I often do. You gotta know I love you now. In this light, how could I not? I think of us just silly kids. I bet we thought we'd never age, and if we did, we'd never dare say. I think of home, I often do. You gotta know I love you now. In this light, how could I not?